Hello, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television.
And I'm Kim Anderson. I'm a board member with MCAT, and I'm also the Director of Programs and Grants for Humanities Montana.
Welcome to Missoula Live. It is incredibly warm on Monday,
It's
February
crazy
the 6th.
out there. Crazy.
You guys will see this show for the next 2 weeks. It'll be on actually through the 21st, I guess, because of President's Day. We'll just see what happens then.
Right.
I have a little bit of news for MCAT then, realizing that you may have missed this opportunity. Know that every second Wednesday of the month at 5:30, MCAT conducts an open house of our beautiful facility. We're downtown, just kitty corner from Warden's Market, right across from the Iron Horse, around the vicinity of Missoula Textiles, next to the gym. If you came here at 5:30, you would be able to walk around and see the computers we have here for video editing. You would see the cameras you could check out for 4 days a week, something like that. And also our little studio, the former garage of the Missoulian, pre-1983. So you could learn what might interest you with MCAT. A lot of people are posting on Facebook. They are using Twitter. They're using other social media accounts, because this seems to be a very social time in America, a very antisocial time as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So we thought, in particular, it might interest you to see what MCAT might have to offer in this dialogue. If you want to participate, come to MCAT Wednesday, February the 8th at 5:30. If you've missed it, come on the second Wednesday of March or May or June.
They're always there.
Yeah, you don't have to sign up. You can call us at 542-6228. Go to mcat.org if you want more information about that. And then the other refrain that I have for the dear viewing public is the Saturday animation drop-in.
Animation drop-in.
Right. It's for kids aged 9 to 13, generally speaking. I have seen bigger ones and I have seen smaller ones in there. It is $10 for 4 hours. Your child could learn the basics of stop animation. They can play with claymation tools, Legos. Oh, yes, Scott's showing a clip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. He's got learn and create short films.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he made this. I forgot. He made this great little clip about
it is
the
amazing
afternoon
what these
drop-in.
kids learn to do and how quickly they take to it.
Yeah, and how patient they are, which I think is really shocking.
Yeah, I think kids learn some skills that they can apply to other areas of their life.
Right, like one step at a time. Because they have to take 30 little pictures to come up with 1 second, and they move it. And why they do this is beyond me, but they do want to do it. If your child would like to do it, again, you don't need any pre-registration or what have you. It's a drop-in. Anytime between 1 and 5, pay $10, and be sure to pick up your child at 5. So Kim is now going to talk to you about Humanities Montana.
Well, I just have one little thing to talk about. You know, we're a statewide agency, so a lot of what we do isn't happening in Missoula and isn't germane to this show. But last Thursday we had the most amazing event, and we're going to be doing it again. So I wanted people to know.
At the Imagination Brewery?
Yes. Last Thursday at Imagination Brewery, we had the first of what will be a series of 3 conversations. And the first one was on navigating identity in Montana.
Interesting.
So if you are of a non-majority gender or race or sexual persuasion and are feeling that you're a minority, it was a chance for people to talk about that. And we had a Pakistani immigration lawyer. We had another woman who's a psychologist in Billings, who's also Pakistani, actually. And then Joseph Grady, who's Native American, Blackfeet, and a wonderful guy.
He's an MCAT fan. I see him quite a bit on the Facebook.
And anyway, so they talked for a little bit about their experiences being not in the majority in Montana, which is a very homogenous population. And then we opened it up, and the place was packed. There were like 125 people in there.
Great.
It was awesome, and we had to finally just like pull the cord
Oh, did you?
8:30 and say,
And you should
"You
fill
gotta
out
close."
an MCAT Media Assistance Grant for
For
your
the
next
next
one,
one.
because then more people could watch it, or we could live stream
I
it
forgot
from
to do that.
there.
I forgot to do that, but
Yeah.
we will. Because now March 9th, and maybe we'll get Sarah to come on and talk about it beforehand
Oh, there you go.
on the show. We're going to have our second conversation, and it is going to be on the law and social justice, and some of the discrepancies you see among communities having trouble with the law disproportionate to their population numbers in the general society. So again, we'll have some excerpts. They just speak for a little time, and then it is wide open for everyone. So March 9th, Thursday, 6 to 8, Imagination, which is a great place, that place.
I've never been in it, so I really want to go.
This is
I
my
used
first
to,
time.
I used to jog a loop around there, and when it was being built, it was being converted from the secondhand car dealership that it
Right,
was.
and it's a nonprofit,
Yeah.
so we should get them to come on and talk.
On West Broadway, right across
From the
Pavarella.
Pavarella, yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice, March 9th. All right, so we have our guests. Jessy Lee and Clem Work are in the studio representing Soft Landing. Welcome, thanks for waiting through our harangue.
Now it's your turn.
Well, thank you, Joel and Kim. We appreciate a chance to be here.
That's great. So would one of you like to take the task of explaining Soft Landing, its formation and function?
Okay, well, Soft Landing was formed about 15 months ago in response to the worldwide refugee crisis, and the idea that we could do our fair share, our little bit, to help refugees who are in such horrific circumstances around the world, and a very tiny fraction of them, less than 0.5%, ever make it to the United States.
Wow.
And of those, a very tiny fraction ever make it to Missoula.
Of course.
But as of now, we have 16 families from 5 different countries, about 60 individuals who are now here in Missoula. So we have a variety of services that we offer to them, and I'm going to ask Jessy to talk about some of those services.
Yeah, we have some English second language classes, so ESL. So we've got folks that come in on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. No, just Mondays and Thursdays, that come in and take English classes from us. And we've got childcare available that is volunteer run, which is really incredible. And we learned that several of the parents were interested in learning how to drive. And so Fridays, we've got driver's ed going on. It's kind of a fun time at Soft Landing, my favorite day to be there. And so while they're learning English, they're also learning the rules of the road. So we've got one of those little kid mats that with the Matchbox cars, and we are showing folks the rules of the road in the United States. We've also got a great coat closet for warm clothes. The Missoula community has responded in a pretty incredible way with boots and coats and hats and things that are keeping people toasty warm in this unseasonably cold winter.
Long winter,
Long
yeah.
winter. And what else? Have we got?
Well, we probably will be starting up some other classes for refugees. A couple of film documentarians want to give basic lessons to refugees in video, just basically using their cell phones to tell their own stories
That would be really amazing.
about their experience
Yeah.
here. And I have a couple of artist friends who want to start giving art lessons for children or women. So we've got lots of plans for further education and further assimilation of the refugees into our wonderful little community.
Now, I know that there are a lot of changes in our country's policies that are happening very quickly. And so as of today, February 6th, can you explain what the status is of any future refugees coming in?
Okay, status that I explained today may
Wait,
not be in
That's
effect
why
tomorrow.
I'm dating it right now, yes.
Okay, so we were actually able to get 2 refugee families after the executive order was
Really?
issued. This was among a small number of families who it was argued would suffer irreparable harm if they could not come. And so we received those families both from Eritrea, eight individuals from Eritrea, and they came on February 1st.
Congratulations.
Now, the so-called judge in Washington has issued an order freezing the ban, and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is now considering that. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's possible that the freeze, in other words, the continued opening of the pipeline, could continue for some time.
Weren't they asking both sides for more information today?
Right, right. So we'll probably know within a few days whether that freeze will stay in effect. But it's a very fluid situation from day to day, and we can only plan so far regarding that. But regardless of what happens, we've got at least 60 refugees here in Missoula,
Right.
and we've got a lot of things that we can do to help them. So we've still got lots to do.
Yeah, you're busy.
And I did read on the IRC website today that they're welcoming 41 new families into the United States today, that of who we don't expect to see any in Missoula at this point.
Of the Missoula families, are they all from the same country, or do you have people from different nations?
We have refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo. We have families from Eritrea, which is a tiny little country just north of Ethiopia in the Horn of Africa. And then we have refugees from Iraq and from Syria.
Wow.
So we did have an Ethiopian family as well, but they moved to be closer to relatives in another part of the country.
So as a group, there's a disparity too. That you can't say all the refugees would speak the same language unless
Oh,
it
no.
were English, nor would they share the same cultural
No, they speak.
traditions and
They
so
speak. They speak Arabic. They speak Congolese. Well, they speak Swahili
on. Wow.
and some French, and the Eritreans speak Tigrinya.
Tigrinya.
And I'm trying to learn a few phrases.
I was going
doubt.
to say, does anyone in Missoula speak that language?
Well, there are a couple of Eritrean families
Already here.
and a couple of those men know English pretty well, so they're helping us
Okay.
translate, but it's still not easy,
Right. It must be a huge.
right? And there's no Google Translate for
Right, for that
Tigrinya
language.
yet.
Yet.
What an adventure. So if people are watching and they're sympathetic to this effort, what would you tell them? How
Well-
can they help?
Well, we have a really responsive volunteer coordinator, Molly Cottrell. She's a program coordinator and volunteer coordinator. And Jessy, of course, helps her. And if people want to help, just fill out a form on our website, softlandingmissoula.org, and they can, and they will get a reply as to what they can do.
And what sorts of skills or things are you really looking for? What are some priorities?
Jessy?
We're looking for people who can communicate non-verbally pretty efficiently, and so who have friendly dispositions. We've got folks who help in our reception area. We've got folks who, again, are supporting with childcare and transportation. We've got family mentors, which is another program that we work in conjunction with IRC. And so that comes picking up families from the airport to all the way through this continuum of care and support. that family or that community members can support incoming refugees with.
I just joined a mentor team in addition to being on the board of Soft Landing. I am now a part of a team that welcomed one of these Eritrean families. So, and right now they're still in a motel because IRC has not yet secured a 3-bedroom apartment for them. So we need to help them. At the same time, we want to respect their privacy and their need to just kind of relax or absorb what's going on.
Right.
You know, we can't be at them all the time.
Right.
But when we are with them, we try to help them. Yesterday, I took the family to the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church because actually the father is a priest, and the whole family is part of the Orthodox tradition. So they were welcomed very warmly by the pastor and the parishioners at the church. And so that's just an example of what we do to help them feel a little more comfortable, despite the language barrier. Despite the language barrier.
Right. Find their place in Missoula.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm envisioning the people watching, carpenters who say, I'll teach a carpentry class or so on, but there is a program we have where people with skills are invited at least to apply via the website and say, I can teach computer stuff or other vocational type aspirations.
Yes, we do have a computer lab, and we certainly could use other people who have particular computer skills.
Yeah, ESL, again, is always great.
Right.
We've got some incredible ESL teachers, but
You
certainly...
could use some more.
Yeah,
You've got 60.
I'm
absolutely.
sure
And if we've got
language is
more
the
families coming in,
biggest
great.
priority in many ways.
What is the age range of the people you're serving?
We've got an 8-month-old baby.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's in my family. My Eritrean
So
family.
language not a barrier there.
No. Little boy named Samuel, and just as cute as can be.
Yeah.
And I guess the oldest, I don't know, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, I would say that I've met is...
But a lot of school-age children, right?
A lot of kids.
And how are they
MCPS,
doing?
The Missoula County Public Schools, is doing a great job in integrating the kids into the schools. There are kids at Russell. There are kids at what am I thinking?
I think.
Pardon?
C.S. Porter.
C.S. Porter, and kids are like little sponges, and they are just learning English really quickly and really doing well in their classrooms.
And we've got some kiddos who are super into soccer. And so we've been connecting with different soccer camps for the summertime to see if we can plug them in.
Sure.
To continue to engage in the community.
Great.
I want to tell you one more little story if you have time.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in on one of these driver's ed classes, and we got talking about something else. We got talking about what they like to eat. Well, it turned out that they loved goat. Goat is not exactly a big staple.
You don't see it in the meat aisle a lot.
I have a friend whose parents own a goat farm just outside of town. So we obtained a doe, and on New Year's Eve day, we took it to a location, let's say a rural location, appropriate for butchering. And the 5 men came, and they did all the work themselves. Clearly they knew what to do, and they cut the animal up into 5 parts, each to take back to his family for a feast. And it was a really cold day, so we started a fire in one of those half barrels.
Right.
And then because the fire was going, they decided, okay, we'll roast some choice pieces of goat. And I
Oh,
brought
on
some
the spot.
champagne because it was New Year's.
Oh,
So we had this wonderful little celebration standing around this fire pit with eating little pieces of roast goat.
Wow.
But they took, the rest of it
Yeah.
back to their
Yeah.
families.
It sounds like
they
everyone
felt
was a long way from home that day.
they were, it was a taste of home for them, and it was a
Sure.
wonderful moment for us all to join together and in this moment of I think real happiness.
sharing food is always
Yeah.
a way to connect. Yeah, what a great idea. That was nice.
That's great. If people watching also want to donate, they can do that, right?
Money.
By going to just money. SoftLandingMissoula.org.
Absolutely. We have we have a paid executive director, Mary Poole, who was one of the founders, and Molly Cottrell, who is the other co-founder, is the program director, and they are paid part-time, but we do pay them, and then we need money for other things.
The office rental.
Office
and all
rental,
sorts of-
absolutely, stuff like that. So we would very much appreciate a donation to Soft Landing, which can be made right on the site. As far as goods, we do accept goods. We post notices quite frequently about the kinds of stuff that we need and so on. Right now, I think we're pretty good on coats and winter gear,
Yeah.
but that may change.
Right.
Technology is
When the
always.
next season comes
Yeah.
along,
You
the
mentioned
technology.
that you needed monitors and
Televisions,
Routers,
wireless routers.
smartphones that would help people navigate and
Right.
learn
Bus,
bus routes
yep.
and street addresses and so on.
Right, so if people have that stuff, just contact Soft Landing. And we have an office, by the way, at 939 Stevens. And, it's open
right.
pretty much regular business hours.
And we've been showing the website, so I
Yes.
think people have had
and
a good
the
chance to.
softlanding.org address.
Great.
Right.
Great.
Well, it's a hugely important endeavor. Thank you both so much for devoting yourselves to it, and it's exciting to have new cultures and new people in
Yes.
Missoula.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
for inviting
coming
us.
on the show. You're most welcome. So we'll be right back with Asaph Adonai. Scott's going to show you some PSAs. So we'll be back right after this.
For too long, corporate tobacco has exploited our people, manipulated our practices, and profited from our addiction. No more. If you struggle with commercial tobacco addiction, call the American Indian Commercial Tobacco Quit Line today at 1-855-372-0037 and talk to someone who understands.
At Missoula Aging Services, you'll always be greeted with a warm welcome. Whether you are caring for an aging loved one or you're an older adult yourself, our friendly staff is ready to connect you to the help you need. You will always get unbiased advice, a free assessment of your needs, and personalized information about the resources available. See what we can do for you. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
I mean, I was just a kid. And you never knew what mood he was gonna be in when he came home. It was brutal. My dad, he would come home and there's one time where...
Good job, bring it back. Chad wasn't a football player per se. He was just a kid that needed to be a part of something. I don't think he had anyone as a role model or someone showing him what to do. It's okay, you're doing good. You're okay.
Coach Marr was the only person I really trusted in this town. He was always there.
And I'm so proud of you. Done well. Done well.
Okay, we are back with Asaph Adonai. Welcome, Asaph.
Hi, Joel. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. So Asaph had, been on our morning show, Wake Up Missoula. He acted as a volunteer, came in early morning. How long did you do that for?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years volunteer.
Bravo.
Yeah, well, my first appearance was on August 4th, 2014.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was no musical notes with Asaph. It was just, I just played the piano in the background while Scott and Noel were doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then in February 25th, 2015, that's when Noel actually thought of the idea of the musical notes with Asaph, and I started doing those segments.
Yeah.
Those
And
stories.
tell people
It's
what
great.
the musical notes, what the theme of that is.
Well, since I'm older, I would just like tell a story of either a musician or an actor or a movie, someone from the past, like say Alan Napier, the actor that played Alfred on the Batman TV series, or Fay Wray,
Sure.
the King Kong movie, 1933.
Yeah.
Those kind of stories, and it just kind of evolved. So I was
and
telling
you had
story
some
after story.
challenges because of YouTube. YouTube
Yeah.
has these robots that recognize licensed music. So when
Yeah.
Asaph would try to do his musical notes, even to show like a teeny clip, which would qualify as a
for
fair
the first
use,
year I got the first
the
year I got away
robots
with
would
putting
knock
clips,
him
yeah.
down.
Yeah, and then we had to take the clips out, so
They've
I had to
gotten
use still
stricter,
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah, use still pictures instead.
Yeah, so I had to do still pictures and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea. Every show needs a little
Oh, I
music.
know.
Well,
And
I have
you know-
to thank Noel for that. And it's like watching the news, but there's a piano playing softly in the background.
Yeah, it takes the edge off. I think if
Yeah.
all the news were delivered with a piano playing softly in the background,
Yeah.
it would be
Would be
much
much better.
better.
And I tried to play appropriate songs too for
Yeah.
that too.
Well, that
News
would be a
stories.
challenge.
Yeah, no, and he did. And Asaph also has a show on MCAT. It's been running for a long time, and he's made how many episodes of this show?
Oh goodness, almost 150 I think
Yeah.
now at this
Wow.
point.
The Asaph Cafe
Congratulations.
show.
Yeah, Asaph Cafe, yeah.
What season are you up to?
Season 11. Every 15 episodes, we call it a new season.
Yeah.
Why
'Cause
not?
It would be impossible to do it like by regular television for
Yeah.
a whole year or whatever.
No.
So, and that's a joy in my life, Asaph Cafe. It's just such a fun show to do.
So for people who haven't seen that, what's that like?
Well, I just play the piano in the cafe, and I invited guests, and they just talk to me as I play the piano. That's it.
It's kind of like a free-form
It's
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
To talk about, and some of the things we've talked about, like we've talked about Wonder Woman, because it's kind of a comical show.
Right.
So I'm doing all my Sinatra dinner music while they're talking about whatever they talk about.
Oh,
We
that's
talked about
great.
mail order brides. People talk about their dogs, their cats, their hobbies, their goals.
And also
It's
there was a kind of hallmark, and it was a first for MCAT Studios. We know a lot
Oh,
of things have
yeah.
happened in MCAT Studios. But why don't you describe to people that
Well,
hallmark event?
Oh,
Harold,
we're seeing something
Yeah.
on the screen.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah,
showing some of the
this is-
special
this is a clip
effects at
from,
the studio.
Yeah, this is our Lawrence Welk set, and I'm here with Emmett, our aging rocker, I call him.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I don't know what the topic was, but this gives the audience an idea here. So you can see the bubbles
I
floating
like
around.
the bubble effect a lot.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
chroma keyed in,
Wow.
from the green wall
Right,
over there.
Right.
Cool.
Well, the singular event.
Okay, well, the main thing is, thanks to this studio here, I'm attempting to bring the Lawrence Welk show back to life. I have a show called Music with Asaph, and Mayor John Ingen was kind enough to be part of that pilot.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I saw a little bit of it.
I did a pilot
Here
episode
he
thanks to Kat. Yeah, there it is. But and this young lady on the left, her name is Luis Bunde. She is the hostess of this program.
Oh, how cool.
And so they helped me put this show together with Scott and MCAT, and I
Here
got
comes
an email.
Asaph in the white tux.
Look at how suave.
Yeah, thanks to Tuxedo Gallery,
Yeah.
though. They made that possible. And when this was over, it was like Cinderella had to get out of the pumpkin. Go back.
Right. But
Go
that
back
was
to the humble.
that was shot in the governor's ballroom of the Florence
Yeah, it
Hotel.
was.
How
And I got
cool.
an email from the actual OETA Lawrence Welk Network. They're interested in this project, but they can't do anything until I get the actual first episode on the air.
Oh, right.
So if I get the funding, then we'll put it on PBS and then let them take over. And I think what they'll do is do some tests in their area in Oklahoma where that is rerun.
Yeah.
And see
Oh,
how
why
it
don't you
goes.
show people at home your your autobiography that you've
Okay,
you've
which camera? Is
written.
it this camera here?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I wrote a book called Supermarket Pianist.
And that was
Basically-
because you were playing, right, at the Patty Market?
Yeah, the Patty Creek Market.
Patty
You probably
Creek
won't see
Market.
it on camera here, but that's the actual Patty Creek Market.
Yeah.
Jim Edwards store.
With the piano in it that
Yeah.
you would play.
And I've been playing in that store for 7 years now. During events. I've played at this Patty Creek Market for 7 years, in the mall for 7 years now, and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
every Christmas season you're out at the mall
Yeah,
playing
so-
their Baby Grand.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun too. So, but getting back to this book here, basically it's Asaph Adonai, Memoirs of a Pianist's Life of Physical and Emotional Abuse Growing Up. Terrible. 2 Failed Marriages, A Life of Music, Healing and Learning to Forgive. That's the synopsis of the book.
Oh, right. It's
Sounds like a
interesting.
great uplifting story.
Yeah, well, it took me 2 years to write that book, and at first I wasn't sure I wanted to write it because I didn't know if I wanted to relive some of the horrible things that
Yeah,
happened
could be
growing up. Not to pick
painful.
on my parents or family and upbringing, but it was pretty dark.
Yeah.
And so I was watching Roseanne of all TV shows, the comedian. And they had this episode where she was older and her husband Dan had died and the kids like Darlene and all had moved out of the house.
All
So
right.
she was writing her memoirs. And that's where I got the idea.
Oh, I got you.
So while that episode was on, I took pen and paper. I started sketching out these notes for this book here. 2 years later, it became this.
Congratulations,
Excellent.
that is
Yeah.
something.
And it's for sale in bookstores around town?
Yeah, this book is on sale at Fact and Fiction and Amazon.com. So it's got pictures and everything on the
Great.
book.
And you know, as part of the Asaph Cafe, we had a wedding here in the studio.
Yeah, that's right.
And it
Harold
was-
Fox was
yeah.
the young man that got married, and his fiancée at the time, Francine.
Yeah.
Francine Davis, and so now she's Francine Fox.
Yeah.
And they got married right on my show on Asaph
I
Cafe.
saw a little clip of it. You
Did
showed
ya?
the board.
Oh, yeah, that's
Joel
right.
shared it with the board. It was very
And you had
moving.
two,
Yeah, I had
two
nothing to
bus
do with that at
drivers from
first.
Mountain Line attended.
Yeah, RC and Dave.
Yeah.
Dave were the 2 drivers that were part of this, and Louise from the
Yeah,
Lawrence Welk
from
show,
the
she was,
Lawrence Welk. She was
Yeah, she was part of it, and I have another friend named Valerie who was a flower girl, Valerie Brownie. She was
Nice.
the flower girl, so it worked out.
Oh, there we're showing a little clip
Yeah,
from
the clip
there.
from the-
Yeah.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah. And the minister, well, he did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, well, this couple, they were having trouble finding someone to marry them because most churches don't like to marry you unless they know you.
Right, or you're
part
a
of their church.
member. Yeah.
So this minister was retired and he consented to do it. And then she could have chose any place to get married. She chose my show, so I was really humbled.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
She's like, yeah, I want to get married at Asaph Cafe. I'm like, really? Okay. So I talked with Joel about it and Lori, and
Yeah.
they gave me permission, and we did it right here.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So,
Well, I mean, Lawrence Welk is still so popular today. My husband grew up with his, it was his mother's favorite show. And
well, I want to bring that show back to life, and I contacted the Lawrence Welk Network about that. So they have the DVD version of the entire show.
Yeah.
And anybody watching this want to see it, all they have to do is put music with Asaph on the YouTube bar.
Yeah, there it is.
Right,
They
and
see
you
the
can watch-
entire- Yeah, they
right.
can see the entire show
oh, I think that'd be
in its
great.
entirety. Yeah, and it was fun, and I have to thank Joel too because you kind of
Oh,
gave me
you're
the idea
welcome.
for that.
Yeah.
You remember when we first met?
Yep.
And you were telling me about the procedure here.
Yes.
And you said, well, if you were to do a show like Lawrence Welk, for example, and then the on switch came on,
You went, whoa!
and I'm like, hey, I like that idea. So Joe said, okay, I tell you what, you put that together, we'll tape it.
Yeah, we did that through a media assistance grant.
Yeah.
We had, then Missoula Arts Council and now Arts Missoula
Right.
be his sponsor.
Yeah.
so that we could go on location
Oh,
with
great.
multiple cameras and
That's
and
it.
edit
And it worked just from an accidental conversation. So we got that copyright thing going.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
That can just be a lesson for the folks that may or may not come on Wednesday, February the 8th, get a tour of the studio.
That's
Could
it.
open up a broad
Yeah, you never
and
know.
hidden library in the corridors of their mind. Should they do so? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just funny how life works. So,
It
but I
is.
feel really blessed. I have Asaph Cafe, and of course the relationship with the MCAT studio, and the music with Asaph, the new Lawrence Welk show, and my autobiography, and
Yeah.
You're
And
a
the
busy
Patty
man.
yeah.
Creek Market too. which
Yeah,
is
and
Yeah.
the wall.
very
So
cool.
this whole community's been good to me in the 9 years I've been here, and I've got to play just about everywhere.
Yeah,
Savoir
Chris,
faire.
you were playing too at the DoubleTree. Remember
Yeah, I
seeing you
played there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's when they had the former management. It's all
Yeah.
new now.
It's
so.
gone through a lot of changes,
Oh, no.
but
Yeah.
you know, I think anyone who's got a skill like making music and an art, you can, you know, people want you. They want to be a
Yeah,
part
well,
of
you know,
that.
I'm really humbled by that, but I had to practice an awful lot.
It's
to
not
get to this.
easy. Yeah, I know.
Years and years of practice, and hours of practice.
It
Yeah,
isn't
one
easy.
of-
Oh, we
one of
better
my-
move along. My Fitbit tells me it's 4:35. We
Oh,
have to
yeah.
get Courtney on.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that's
from the
right.
Hospice Care Foundation. But Asaph, I want to thank you so much.
Well,
for
thank you for
Yeah.
having me, and thanks for letting me talk about this book. And
You're
I hope
most
people will
welcome.
So
get
Fact
it.
and Fiction is where you can find the book.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Supermarket Pianist by Asaph Adonai.
And tune
is
into
correct.
Asaph's Cafe.
Yeah, Asaph Cafe.
Do you know
so.
when it's on MCAT?
Yeah, 5 o'clock on Thursdays, and it repeats
Okay.
Friday at 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
Deal.
You
That's it.
look at the schedule on the website.
Yeah, if you
there you
forgot
go.
that.
Right.
And
There you go.
we'll be right back. Courtney's here from the Hospice Care Foundation. I know their big fundraising ball is coming up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Scott will show you some PSAs and we'll have her in the next instance. So stay right there.
Your local library, igniting the passion for reading.
How would you like to have an endless supply of books, movies, music, audiobooks, and even ebooks whenever you want? Your library card can do all that, and it doesn't cost a thing. You can pick up a library card anytime the library is open, free of charge to residents. All you need is a picture ID with your current address. The library will then verify your address, and once they have, your library card will be good for life. Library card holders may borrow several items to enjoy all at once. Be sure to check the return dates, as they may vary depending on what items you check out. It's so easy to get access to all the library has to offer, and best of all, it's free. To learn more, stop by your local library or visit their website.
This message brought to you by the Greater Montana Foundation and the Montana State Library.
Birthdays come and go, each year adding up to a lifetime full of extraordinary moments. At Missoula Aging Services, we promote the independence, dignity, and health of older adults. We are ready to help connect seniors to the help they need. Knowing you've got friends to support you, each birthday can be special. See how we can help. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
People, we are back. Courtney Imhoff is here,
Perfect.
representing Hospice Care Foundation. Welcome, Courtney. Thanks for waiting to get on.
Thank you. Thanks
So-
for having me.
You're most welcome. I was presupposing that the Hospice Care Ball is coming up.
It is, yes. It's coming up on Friday, February 24th. It's out at the Hilton Garden Inn. We are expecting our largest turnout. We are
Great.
almost sold out. We have about 7 tables left, so we are just encouraging people if you want to go.
And they're
Now's the
they're
time to get your
showing
tickets.
the theme for this year.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be very glamorous and
It's
fun.
Great Gatsby Masquerade, so 1920s meets Masquerade Ball. So
Interesting.
people
Some
can
masks and
kind
whatnot?
of go either direction or a little bit of both. So they can dress up in their 20s attire with a masquerade mask on, or they can just dress up with their 1920s attire and fedoras and, you know,
Right.
you name it. So
I always think it's fun when there's an opportunity to dress up, especially for a charity event.
it's going to be a fantastic event. There's a lot going on that night. You know, obviously it's a fundraiser first and foremost. So we do everything from dancing to we're going to have this year bingo and poker.
Oh.
So there will be some fun games for people to play. We have 2 different photo booths. So Magic Zoo booth will be doing kind of a fun Great Gatsby photo booth, and then we have Dostal Photography who will be doing a more formal photo booth. And then we have Insight and Sound, who's a DJ here in town.
Yeah.
So he'll be playing a mixture of music from now and then 1920s fun.
Just in Charleston.
Yeah, right?
Well, there really is. I have a few tracks of music that combines your modern and your 20s music.
So that's what we were talking
have
about.
something or other. I can't think of it. I'm on the tip of the tongue state, you know. But it sounds really kind of cool. Like
I
you
bet.
imagine stride piano, for instance.
Yes.
Right? And then kind
Absolutely.
of techno pop, some stride piano. The effect
great.
is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's so it reminds me a lot of the Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
You know, they
The Baz Luhrmann director
Yes,
version.
yes.
I saw it in 3D. That was quite a trip. But yes, I expected they would do some of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fusion.
It's kind of a modern twist on it, which is super fun. So, yeah.
And before we get into the
Yeah, we should
details
tell
of the
people
ball,
more, right?
yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about the Hospice Foundation
Sure.
and what this event is to support.
Absolutely. So Hospice Care Foundation is kind of the umbrella, and it provides granting to programs and projects that the organizations that provide palliative care in Missoula kind of helps them promote those programs and those projects. So the granting goes directly to those programs and those organizations that help patients and their families at a critical time in their life. And in that same vein, they just started in the last year an actual funding granting to individuals. So individual families that might have something that they can't afford. An example would be, you know, insure if somebody is on a special diet and that's super expensive for them and they have all these medical bills because they're at the end of life care.
Right.
And so those things add up really fast, and so they can actually fill out an application and go through a granting process, and they can grant money directly to an individual as well. So it's,
Oh, that's
it's
wonderful.
really great. So all the money that's raised at the Hospice Ball goes back to funding those individuals and funding all of the palliative care programs that are here and available to people.
Wow.
And there's a good half dozen or so.
Yeah.
in town.
Absolutely. And it's imperative. You know, I always tell people my mom had hospice care at the end of her life, and it truly is until you experience it,
Yeah.
you will never really understand the value of having them in your home. And they bend over backwards to make sure that the patient is taken care of and their families are taken care of. And so Hospice Care Foundation is able to provide them with some funding to continue to do that. So it's pretty incredible.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to say the same thing. It's not until you've had a loved
No,
one
I know.
in the house, you know, and then had this care come in, would you understand the importance and the poignancy, you know, of this kind of work. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of times we're so lucky to not, so many of us, to not have to worry about that. And then in your time of need, it's hard to know where to find the resources to help you. And I've said, you know, truly, the bereavement coordinator that helped me and my mom at the end of her life, if it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't have survived it. I was 19 years old.
Oh,
you know,
gosh.
Yeah. But there are so many decisions to make and so many different organizations need to be contacted, and
Yes.
it's complicated.
Yes, absolutely. So we're just lucky. Missoula is lucky that they have so many programs
Yeah.
available to patients and their families. So hopefully everybody gets the care that they need.
Yeah.
Now, this ball has been an annual event for quite a while,
Yes,
right?
it's the 36th annual.
I had no idea it was that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's gone back and forth. You know, they used to have it out at the hangar for several
Yes.
years. And this year it's at the Hilton Garden Inn. And they've been at the Holiday Inn. So, and the theme changes every year, which is also super fun. So you don't really know what to expect year after year. It's not kind of the same. So.
If people want to get tickets, would you recommend the website as the first
Yes, so
stop?
it's just hospiceball.com. They
Oh.
can go on there, they can purchase tickets. There's plenty of general admission tickets left. There are a handful of tables left if people wanted to purchase a table versus just a ticket. So hospiceball.com will get them that. They can also call the telephone number for the office, which is just 541-2255.
And what are the prices for tickets or tables?
Yeah, so it's $90, and the table prices vary depending on what size
Right.
of table you want, and whether you want a VIP table or just kind of a general table. The VIPs get a little bit of perks. They get a
You would
different. They get a
expect so.
different meal.
Oh.
So that's very fancy. They also get, a couple drink tickets, and they get a goodie bag and those sorts of things. And so that's fun for them. And then the rest of them get a delicious meal as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
Is
how
it-
many?
yeah, dinner dancing was what
I know.
I was thinking with the
How many
Gatsby.
people usually attend? I mean, what's your?
So last year we had roughly people that walked in the door, roughly about 330. This year
Wow.
we're nearly sold out, which means that we'll have closer to probably a 400.
Oh my
mark.
gosh, that's huge.
Yes, it's great. And, I think the great thing about it is that it hasn't lost traction over time, which is so phenomenal. So many times people go to them and they just go a couple times and and then don't go back. And there's actually people that have been going to the ball since its inception, believe it or not. But it's really fun to see those folks that have been around forever, and then kind of a new generation of people getting involved as well.
Sure.
So.
Do you have important local sponsors that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to make sure I don't forget any of
I don't
them.
blame you. That's important.
So ABC Fox Montana is a huge sponsor. David Winter will be an MC for us this year, so he's a great part of that. The Hilton Garden Inn. Fly Design actually designed our flyer,
Nice.
which is super fun. And then Garden City Monument, they help us with a lot of the stuff. We do a lot of engraving and stuff on door prizes, and so they helped us with that, and Frame of Mind as well.
And they're showing the
Tuxedo
sponsors
Gala,
on the
so-
screen.
Yes, Scott's so good. He's putting it up for
Great.
people at home.
Excellent, thank
Frame
you.
of Mind, what is that?
Frame of Mind is a frame shop that's actually
Oh, okay.
over off of Brooks Street, kind of where the Taco Treat used to be.
Right.
Yeah, or
Okay.
is the newer one. Yeah, so just right over there by Premier Paints.
Yes.
And they do incredible custom framing. So they are wonderful, and they actually frame a lot of our artwork for
Oh,
us
that's
that
great.
goes into the silent and live auction.
So there's also a silent and live auction.
Yeah, which I failed to mention.
Oh my
I know,
God.
Good thing we had extra time today.
There's more. There's always more. Yes. So the silent auction, we were just talking about it today. Right now, we have about 200 items so far, and that's just stuff that's in the system already.
Man.
And we have more coming in, and then we will have a live auction that has roughly about 9 items that will auction off in the live auction, and we have Matt Manley, who will be our auctioneer this year.
And are these things like
So we have
weekend
everything.
packages?
We have
and-
everything from artwork, photography to spa baskets. The live auction is more trips, so we have an incredible safari that people can bid on.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we have a home improvement package that includes pest control services, cleaning services, home improvement, handyman service.
That's a great
so it's
idea.
paint from Premier Paints. So we have a lot of different, it's a wide variety. We have a barrel of booze, if someone wants, a barrel of booze.
That's very Courtney like.
Right. Somebody that's probably the highest package. I don't know. So there's a lot going on over the course of the night, which makes it really fun. And we kind of time everything. We also have a program that starts, and so we will have people that will come and they will perform. And then our CEO, Kevy, will get up and talk a little bit more about how Hospice Care Foundation directly impacts the people in that room and the service that they do.
Yeah.
So the event starts, give us the date and the time again.
I forgot.
Yes, so February 24th, which is the last Friday in February.
Right.
It starts at 6 p.m. It runs until midnight. It's at the Hilton Garden Inn. And everybody and anybody that wants to go is highly encouraged. It's going to be a great night. So,
and they can visit that website,
going on.
hospiceball.com.
Yeah.
Hospiceball.com. They can go there. They can get their tickets. They can see anything and everything that they want to know about the ball. They can look at the theme. There's the tuxedo shop is actually fitting a lot of our volunteers as well. So people can go down there and they can get a discount on a tux if they want.
That shop on Higgins, it's in the Humboldt Apartments, below.
Yep, absolutely. So they help us out every year, and it's great because then you can kind of go and get the theme.
Who wouldn't want to have that opportunity once a year? Wear a tux or a gown.
Really? Do you go? I mean, when's the last time that you really got to dress up like that in costume, unless it's Halloween?
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
And expect everyone at the event will be similarly
absolutely
dolled up.
You want to know what's really great about it, I think, is that you have people that kind of dress up very simplistically, but they still dress up. And then you have people that go all out.
Right.
And so it's really pretty fun because you get such a wide variety. And people are really into it. And I didn't mention either that we will have a costume contest as well. So
that's great,
if people are really decked out, they can be judged and win part of the costume contest. So it's just, we hope that people will come there and they'll spend their Friday night with us just enjoying each other's company and enjoying a great event and supporting a good cause and kind of an all-encompassing affair.
Good formula.
Yeah, right? So will we see you there?
I hope. Come on, Joe.
Do you want to dance?
It's difficult to make such commitments over the course of the year,
But everyone out there should grab some friends, get some tickets, and show up. It sounds like a great night.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And a great cause.
We certainly think that it's a great cause, and hopefully there's many, many, many more stories of people that have been helped through the hospice care program. So hopefully we'd like to get people to share those stories with us as well.
Yeah.
And there will be some people that talk about their personal stories as well and share pictures of loved ones that may have passed on. So it's just, a incredible opportunity to really just make sure that we're saying farewell and respecting those that have passed and celebrating the care that we can provide them so that we can make their end of life a little bit easier. And their families, that's truly what it's about. So.
Right.
Great, Courtney. Thank you so much for taking the time to come over.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
You're most welcome, and good luck that evening. And the people watching, maybe if they're like me, they can't commit to a social event, they can write a check.
Yes.
Yeah.
They absolutely can write a check. Hospiceball.com is a great spot for you to go and see how you can get involved in other ways, whether it's volunteering or writing a check. Our address is listed on that website, so you're welcome to, mail in a check. But yes, every opportunity that someone can take to help us out financially, we sure appreciate it very much.
Great.
Well, folks, I thought it'd be a short show. It wasn't really.
But there were so many fun things to
Yeah,
talk
look
about.
at that. We've got 54 minutes
I
on that.
know, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're at 7,000 steps. I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
you. 98.
Bitter. We're both like like the
Now, are
the
we-
horses of modern era.
Are we maybe going to have a different date for the next show? Were you saying that to me?
Oh yeah, that's possible. So you might see a pre-recorded show, or it might be a Tuesday because of that President's Day.
Right, because in 2 weeks from now,
Yeah.
when we would normally be doing this
Well,
show.
can you do it Tuesday,
Yeah,
the
sure.
21st? Well, there you have it.
There you
folks.
go.
We will see you again Tuesday, the 21st at 4 p.m. Thanks for watching. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
We'll see you next time.